Now, I don't know an awful amount about Loop Hero. I know it is somewhat a strategic puzzler. I know there are deck and card elements. I know there are placement elements. I know obviously it has this kind of like CRT classic styling to it. And I know that this is an extremely timely series. It says continue, but that is because I tried to do the tutorial, which I think, yeah, 13 minutes of playtime on this file. I think it's fair that I delete that one. I'm not going to skip the tutorial, though. I think that's necessary. Especially for me. Oof. Aha. We're going to need to kind of vault ourselves up just a wee bit here. The stars in the sky are going out, one by one. But no one notices it. No one can stop it. I'm racing to the last place where there's still hope. I need to make it before it's too late. The sounds of agony will quickly fade. The world will be destroyed. Even the memory of it will be gone. And even if there is absolutely no chance of bringing it all back, there will always be someone who is willing to do the impossible. In a place without space, without time, without memories. That entity kind of... Oh, hang on. I'm going to need to find another complete position for myself here, aren't I? I'm going to be covering the stats before long here, too. Oh, good God. We'll deal with this over time. Let's make myself small over here. Where am I? I can't see anything except this path. My head is killing me. I remember only a skeleton with a staff up in the sky. This darkness was coming from him. Did he destroy everything around here? Just standing here won't do me any good, I guess. To change between adventure, traveling through the map, and planning, stop modes, press the switch, right-click or space. Continue journey by changing the game mode. Okay, yeah, immediately that puts information behind me that I'm not going to be able to do. You know what? We're dropping the cam for a little bit of time. If something presents itself in the future, we'll fix it then. Continue your journey by changing the game mode. So here's our little character tracing their way around the loop. Our loop hero, if you will. Hope I'll be able to find some shelter before nightfall. If night even exists without the sky, that is. Pay attention to the day progress bar at the top of the screen. So that is the top left here. New enemies usually appear at the end of the day. Continue your journey by changing the game mode. Space, right-click, mode switch. So that's an enemy that appeared out from the forest. A living ball of slime. Quite a nuisance. They digest anything they can. Hey, I remembered this creature. Maybe I just need to freshen up my memory and everything will go back to normal. Traveling, fighting, and most other actions are done automatically. The player can't affect them directly. Press anyone to continue. So we'll let this run. It's hard to fight with your bare hands. I think there's an undigested weapon in the remains of that thing. So we have a weapon slot, a ring slot, a shield slot, an armor slot. We also have the rest of these slots out here, but some of them seem as though they are grayed out and not usable. Here we have an axe that does 4 to 6 damage. Not sure what it compares against our base stats with, but we'll equip it. I think I remember there was a grove nearby. Are these even my memories? Or do they belong to that slime? You can use cards that are left by defeating enemies to add various new objects to the map. That's what the planning mode is for. Drag the card to a suitable place to remember the land. So it's kind of similar to the storytelling mechanic of Hand of Fate, I guess, where the unfolding of the map in front of you in Hand of Fate is represented by the cards and the events. And obviously your traversal through the map is just your character. Here, you're effectively doing that, but it's consistently looped. Neat. A grove is a gentle rustle of leaves, a crack of dry branch, and the feeling of being watched. It spawns a rat wolf every 2 days, and rat wolves can move to adjacent tiles. So... Oh, I guess... So enemies give you the resources. They give you axes and cards to play on the field. And in order to generate those enemies, you play fields like groves. So this is effectively like a resource generation rather than creating an enemy that I have to fight. Although it does both. It's not a downside is what I'm saying. I'm trying to find the way in which it's not a downside. Day passes, Ratwolf spawns. A forest Ratwolf. I was right. Some emotional stress, a few vivid images, and a bit of adrenaline, and I'll forget it was all a bad dream. I mean, I'll remember it like... Oh, damn it! Good thing nobody heard that. As you've probably noticed, you can get a few new items and cards during battles. Some of unique features, some items have unique features, as do most of the cards. So cards, items, got it. By hovering over an item or card, you can inspect its properties, equip a new weapon, and place your cards on the map to continue. So this is the same damage, but it has a higher chance for counter. Not certain what counter is. So our base damage was actually 4 to 6. And then equipping the axe that also gave us 4 to 6 just added directly on top of that, giving us the damage range of 8 to 12. Easy. As you've already noticed, so we've got the forest over here, a thick forest. No one knows who or what could be lurking inside. It makes you a bit nervous. +1 to hero attack speed. +1 to hero attack speed. So there doesn't seem to be any positional requirement for this. I could put it way off in the corner and it still gives us the 1 hero attack speed. Otherwise, I would expect to see like an area of effect to kind of like AoE drop in the area. As you've already noticed, you can get new... Oh, that's the same text! Don't show it to me like it's new! You'll confuse me! Rock. Its magnificent appearance gives you strength, +3 HP and +3 more HP for every adjacent rock or mountain. So those are forests over there, grove, wasteland in the interim. So I just want to play this in a position where it can have many adjacents. So there would be fine, but then if I'm going to put a rock here, it's not going to have as many adjacents, so I'll put it 2 spaces in. Good. So there's a mountain over there, and a forest over here. The world's almost back. The branches and stones in my backpack are a sure sign of that. Some of your actions will yield resources that you will need later on, but not right now. That shouldn't stop you from looking at them right now, though. Continue your journey by changing the game mode. So we have found a preserved rock. Hang on. Show/hide resources and items found within this. Maybe that's like half consumed or consumable items is the top count, and then the bottom is resources. Apparently untouched by the Lich's curse, and thus suitable for building despite the shapelessness of the world. And stable wood, a log that has somehow managed to keep its structural integrity despite the general chaos. Good on that wood. Real proud of it. I think it's time I get some rest. The game itself is a journey on a looped path. Makes sense. Only you will decide when it's time for the hero to return to the camp. Either you or the fangs and the claws of your enemies, of course. You can retreat almost any time, but a special animation will let you know when it's safer to do so. Retreat to the camp by pressing the button. Oh, so this isn't camping. This is retreating to the camp from this position. And the camp is some sort of off-screen space. So this cozy camp is a comfortable place to stay. It's strange, but all monsters try to keep away from it. Heals 20% upon entering. So adjacency to this cozy camp makes it easier to get there as well, right? You consider returning to the cozy camp right now while you're still alive and walking. Good thing the camp is right nearby. Now's the perfect chance. Retreat and you keep all resources, so we'll be able to keep those. If we stay, nothing happens. Take all, you will lose. I imagine this is going to be more important when I am riskily trying to get back. Totally fair, Baron. Good to see you too. I'm going to retreat with my resources, as I imagine the game is demanding I do right now. It's cold and dark here. A small fire can solve both these problems. Nice place to set up camp. This is when all the resources you've gathered will come in handy. Who would have thought? You have just enough wooden stones to make a campfire. What a coincidence! Build a campfire using the building function while in camp. Press the build button, select campfire. Cool. Oh? So is this like a meta progression that we're working towards? So effectively, like, you know, an example of this might be Darkest Dungeon 1. We're going out. These are our heirlooms. We're taking them back and we're upgrading our buildings in town. So like it's the meta progression of a level that you have the ability to always access. Because that's, you know, something that's immediately brought to mind by suitable for building despite the shapelessness of the world and the stable wood. The idea that it would persist despite everything else. So campfire. A common campfire, warm and cozy. I thought we already had this. Monsters keep away from it, so it's a nice spot to have some rest between your travels. It's also the center of your camp and the starting point of your adventures. Gives you 20% max HP upon entering it. Nice place to set up camp. This is when all resources you've gathered... It keeps showing me like it's new text. And I'm dumb, chat. This is... Congratulations. You've beaten this annoying tutorial. It was fine. You've beaten this tutorial. I'm just going to cut the word. You can now start your first expedition. Or not. Do as you wish. Click anywhere to complete the tutorial. Oh, right. No, it's not just going to boot us into another area. Let's go. On expedition. You know, it's probably like the least original joke to call this character like a Sans Undertale, right? Because it's like skeleton. It kind of looks, it's like shaped a little like a Sans. It's friend shaped. Let's start. This path. Everything is wrong, but I remember. It looks like a completely different place. And it's empty again. Do my actions have any meaning? Like I have a choice. If I need to give up and cry to save the world, I am the worst savior of all. Let's do it. Good point, Ellibot Z. No, this would be Sans Loop Hero. Hang on, we should probably go back to the planning mode just so that we can have a look at these. The Grove for spawning a rat wolf. There's the Spider Cocoon, a silky bastion of 8-legged hunters. Spawns a spider on an adjacent tile once a day. And a mountain. Plus 5 HP for each adjacent rock or mountain. So the adjacency bonuses of the rocks and mountains makes me feel like I should probably put that in a wide open area. Something like this looks good to me. And then I think I just want to put down the Grove and Spider Cocoon as quickly as possible as well, so that they spawn enemies for us. But, oh, is it possible that I just end up dying to the slimes? Hero self points. It took us about 4 spaces is almost half of a day. So let's assume that 10 spaces, so we would be around here on the 11th, is a full day. This is, you know, assuming that battles take place in pocket space of time. But let's assume that it takes about 10. So I would want to put the grove somewhere in the few places after that. And then I would want to put the spider cocoon another 10 afterwards so that I have the ability to spawn each of them. The grove spawns a rat wolf every 2 days. So I'll put the spider wait. Oh, right. This goes on an adjacent space. Okay. I think this goes here. Then I think the grove... let's put it here. Let's be a little bit more comfy. Enemies don't kill each other, says Coldheart. Instead, they stack if you place things next to each other. Oh, I'm gonna have to take on a whole party of them? Okay. I'm ready for that. It's called Loop Hero, not Loop Coward. That's an item for us. A shield, defense 4. Sounds good to me. We also see a rock and a beacon. Beacon, a worthless landmark in the world with no direction. Plus 40% move speed within its range, and plus 20% attack speed for all units. Man, I kind of like that. I'd move faster through the area, and, you know, the enemies would attack 20% faster, but so would I. That kind of probably cancels out. Ish. And then the rock wants to go next to the mountain. More max HP for us, as well as preserved pebbles, small stones that remember how the world used to look. When you hold them, you're able to hold it, vaguely remember it for a few seconds too. 10 pieces of pebbles form a preserved rock. Okay, so then we can start building out from there. Get him. Oh, okay, yeah, I was pretty much bang on with where the spider cocoon needed to be if I wanted to fight him. Speaking of wanting to fight him. Oh, that's a mountain. Vampire Mansion too. Even a little bit of armor for ourselves. Actually, it's not an armor, it's a ring of attack speed, but we take it all the same. Mountain, +5 for each adjacent rock or mountain. Right. There's a vampire mansion as well. Hungry eyes follow your every move through holes in the roof. Adds vampires to battles on the tiles around it. Oh. I see. I want to put the vampire mansion here, so we'll have faster attack speed, they'll have faster attack speed. This could be... Let me be clear. I am trying to stress test here. I do want to see what kills a run, because then I want to do exactly just short of that, right? There's this old there's this old Jerry Seinfeld joke about painkillers of figure out what'll kill me and then drop a dagger in it. Yeah. That's effectively what I'm trying to do here, right? Like, if you don't have to worry about corpses or cadavers, it's a reasonable strategy. Although I guess by adding vampires to my battles, I am specifically worried. We'll deal with that later. Meadows. Earth covered with a thick carpet of grass. Nothing is really interesting unless you're a cow, of course. Heals 2 HP at the start of every day. So it's just, you go away. We get to keep a ration, a small amount of food. Surprisingly, it can satisfy one's hunger. These things are a real luxury now. 12 form a whole food supply for us. Okay, so the spiders are wimpy. Ooh, a ring of pure damage and attack speed. That replaces it. So anytime we replace a item, we are just going to destroy the initial, and it looks like get nothing for it. Ah, and it's not consumables at the top, and then at the bottom, resource items. It is portions of resource items and resource items. Get the vampire! Back off, human. A vampire? Where are your lands? If your farmers need help, I would be glad to offer it. No more lands, no more flock, only hundreds of years of emptiness.
and hundreds of years of hunger! Save yourself while you still can. I don't know how long I can keep my head straight.
What hundreds of years are you talking about?
Your mind is easy to trick, but you can't trick my hunger. It demands its fill. Every sip, every drop of blood will go to satiate it. I'm too weak, but you can help me and I will see this crumbled world right. That's right, I'm not doing this for just myself, but for everyone, in the name of the greater good. So be grateful for my hard work and let me just bleed you dry!
A grand offer. I'm not going to do it on this one around, but maybe next time. Thank you for the weapon. Vampires often owned our lands. They kept peace and helped our settlements prosper. I was wondering why the kind of like substration immediately before the vampire, but this makes sense. But this won't do it all. Now they're just pale shadows of their former selves, both physically and mentally. Apparently, blood of other creatures can't sustain them. He wasn't joking about the hunger. Even the creatures around him were imbued with the power to drain someone else's life. Okay, so you give vampirism as an aura effect to the other enemies in the vampire fight. Cool. Oh, hang on. I should have equipped the ritual sword first for the extra 2 pure damage as well as 4 to 6 damage. We are doing some good damage. Vampire Mansion, we can drop that probably into this space. It's just there's not a lot of battles in that area. Road Lantern, a small spot of light in this grim world, reduces the number of enemies spawning... reduces the maximum number of spawning enemies on the tiles around it, and the effects can stack. Why would I want to reduce them? I can't imagine it. Cemetery, a place for the dead, and for some of the living, occasionally. Spawns a skeleton every 3 days, and then another mountain goes up in the mountain range. Cemetery, every 3 days, you say? 1, 2, cemetery go here. Road Lantern. I'm gonna put that Vampire Mansion there. And then Road Lantern, I'm gonna make sure there's a safe little place between the 2 Vampire Mansions for me to be comfy. It's entirely possible that's a bad play. I gotta make some to learn. You gotta break a couple eggs to make a couple broken eggs, you know? As the old saying goes. Good morning, every enemy on the entire map. Got ourselves a stable branches. Vampire's doing quite well for themselves right there. There's a shield for 4 defense total. We'll replace the other with it. We also get another rock. Looking for even more adjacencies with that. And a mountain. More adjacencies yet again. So we are well on our way to getting a single preserved pebbles at the absolute least. I'd like to try and get as much as possible before bouncing out. Good lord, thank you very much, Wanda, for the raid. Very, very, very kind of you. Welcome on in. Yeah, this is a great time to have found us, y'all. If you're looking for Loop Hero, and you, like me, missed out on Loop Hero at the time, or possibly didn't, but still want to see more Loop Hero, guess what? I missed out on Loop Hero at the time as well. We are simpatico, you and I. I've decided to go back for a timely, as always, look at this game. Welcome on in, y'all. Let's continue through our rest of our planning. No, we just had the shield to replace there. Now it's fight night. Thank you, Vampire, for your brave donations to us. Spider Cocoon if I want more. We've got rocks for our buildings up there. Another grove. I do kind of want to densify this area a little bit. And I almost want to link up the groves with one another. Hell yeah. And then the spider cocoon. I think this is kind of like a blank stretch up here for a while. Let's drop you around that corner. Set him to run. Absolutely, I can raise the music just a wee bit here. Feel free to tell me if it's not good. Okay, armor for max HP of 95. We know that that just adds to what we already have. And regen per second of 0.6. So we start seeing what our real upkeep would be. You know, we've also got the upkeep of every single time that we pass the cozy camp. I believe we're going to get the 20% HP. Oh, I haven't placed these yet. Oh, whoa. I did want to have a look at this. Map completion. When this bar is filled, the boss of the chapter will appear on the campfire tile. So that is the force of the end of the game. Here's Oblivion. A little bit of the Lich's magic causes anything to be totally forgotten. Erases any established tiles and erases monsters from the road. I mean, I can tell that that's going to be important, but I'm still not entirely certain why I would want to remove the monsters just yet. I guess, you know, you have to balance them out, but like, I just wouldn't play the monster, right? Is there any restriction that prevents me from just keeping the cards in my hand? Also, something that I don't know, there's these little dots above each of these cards, possibly indicating some sort of cost or casting time. Maybe they're important adjacencies? Something in that area? Do I have a second ring slot? I think so. I think there is a second ring slot, but I have not yet unlocked it. I think I would possibly need to like build a jeweler or something like that. Of course, the reason that you want to place these and then possibly delete them later is not just because the resources you get come from the monsters they spawn, but also because the resources you get come from just playing the card in its first place. Great. Love it. Okay, speed ray. How about that? Oblivion. I don't need to put this down though, right? But I can. Well, would it give me anything to play? I'm hesitant. I'm gonna drop this grove just to see what happens. Okay, it didn't give me resources for doing or anything like that. It just, the 3 pips and them being, you know, half filled totally, so 1.5 pips being filled, seemed like it was gonna be good. Oh well. So I can run back if I want to now, but I don't really have any resources that would actually stay. So keep looping. Again, loop hero, not loop coward. If I can get to a one-hit kill on each of these, we are going to be saving so much HP. Another mountain. Beauty. Another rock. Whoa, baby. The heck did you just do? Mountain peak. A stone giant. Couldn't support the sky if it weren't already gone. Plus 121 max HP, plus 5 max HP for every adjacent mountain or rock tile. And spawns a harpy every 2 days. Will it still spawn that, even if it's not as adjacent to the loop as it's entirely possible? I am enjoying this game a huge amount so far, Snydromon. I can apparently still return to camp. It would just be slightly harder to do because I'm not here. Interesting. We've a grove. I am going to use this to extend the other grove. Ooh. Items ahoy. So I'm certain at some point there will be some way to What's the word I'm looking for? Recycle, I guess, the resources of these items that you're otherwise not getting. The pips indicate where a card can be played. Huh. We'll try and keep that in mind and see how that is functioning. There's our first preserved rock. Ring, counter of 9% and vampirism of 7%. Vampirism is almost always just gain some percentage of the damage that you deal to the enemies back to yourself. Yeah, I think we should totally do that. I think that is far better than any of the rest of them. I think also maybe like the 3 here and the 1 here, this is like a vague level item equivalent. Yep. First time playing this game, Nix. It's one of the 2 oldest games in terms of like most recently played that I have still installed on Steam. The other one is Outer Worlds. Ooh, good counter. We get 2 more meadows. Okay, I'm gonna make a 2x2 of meadows. Okay, let's try and make a 9x9 and see what we get out of that. I'm starting to get a feel for the bops and beats of this music. We have 2 higher defense on this shield, as well as 10% evasion. We'll take that, as well as a... Oh, wait, this is a shield as well? Thought this was going to be a helmet of some kind, but we don't have a helmet slot. This is a shield of 6 defense, as well as regen per second and vampirism. I really like the upkeep represented by the 3 items that we have at the moment. I think it might actually already give us the ability to kind of stay here constantly. Which, if it does, my god. So we're healing like 2 on a strike at the moment. Nix, thank you so much for the gift of 10 tier 1 subs to the community. Remember to thank Nix if you got a tier 1 sub. Much appreciated. Enjoy emotes in chat. Welcome to Republic, y'all. A spear? Wait, can I equip this mid-battle? No. Spear. 6 to 10 damage and damage to all, so it does an AoE kind of effect, as well as having 9% on its counter. We've also got another rock out here. Let's start dropping these. Ooh. Goblin camp. The sound of backstabbing can be heard from miles away. Spawns a goblin on an adjacent tile once a day. Appears for every 10 mountain/rock tiles. We've also got a battlefield here. It smells of blood and steel. Spawns a chest on each tile. Sorry, on an adjacent tile each loop. Enemies on the tiles around it can become ghosts when they die. Do I want them to do that? So the pits on the card are, if it's filled, it must be on the road. If it's empty, not near the road. Half, next to the road. If there's multiple circles, it tells you where multiple locations are allowed for placement. Perfect. Thank you so much. Oh, that's going to be super useful. So this, we assume from that, is going to be next to road. And it is. Excellent. Do I want more or less ghosts? How spooky do I want to get? I like spooks. I could deal with Googles and ghasts and the ookie dookies. We've got it. Sadly, the 2 damage AoE still didn't manage to finish off the other creature there. Let's pad out this meadow. Another rock up there. No. What do you mean, no?
You want to save the world. You want to ask for help. Our answer is no.
How did you... But why no?
We see far away. We see deep inside. For a long time, there has been an emptiness instead of the sky. But that doesn't stop us from seeing. Your saving of the world is one-sided and naive. Each person sees their own way to save the world, and that's why no one will ever join you.
Fine. I don't fully understand it, but tell me your version. How do you see saving the world?
By my progeny and kin, may they live and be strong. May they join the cycle of life and death. That is life. That is the world. I will kill you and feed your flesh to my starving younglings, and life will go on. And how many lives can your blade prolong as you kill and kill again? Only one.
I don't want you to die, and I don't want your kids to die of hunger. Please, try to see reason. If my mission succeeds, the Harpies can have all the sky and all the hunting grounds they need.
I can't feed my children with your beautiful words. Farewell.
Fare thee well. I feel awful. By fixing one evil, I'm causing another. There's no home for Harpies except in the highest mountains, but there's no food there. I can't even imagine how they managed to survive if their mountains were cut off from reality. I'm starting to get a beat on what we might need to do with those. Let's drop some extra rocks back up here. Try and bring them a little closer to the land, maybe? Another road lantern. I don't really want the effects to stack, and here is getting a little too dense with enemies. I think a little bit of the time. So I'll have to drop that one over there, and go. I'm so glad not to be micromanaging this battle. Broken longsword, regen per second, does slightly higher damage than the spear. Still probably not better. A polearm for 6 to 10 damage, and a defensive 3. No, health is doing grand. Maybe we just drop the rock and pass. So I imagine at some point we're going to unlock the ability to speed this up. Actually, no, there's already a game tab for speeding it up if we wanted to. Here we have some modifiers already on the battlefield. Battlefield, 20% chance for all enemies to have a soul that is reborn as a ghost after them being killed, and the vampire aura. Objects and artificial enemies don't gain it.
Big mountain.
Take note of the blue and green bars below your HP bar. Blue and green? Below the HP bar? So here's HP. I'm not certain I know where there is a blue and green bar. Oh, in combat. Right, okay. So one is your natural attack speed, the other is your stamina. If the stamina runs out, you get exhausted for many seconds. If you die from it, it's not explained anywhere. Okay, perfect. Much appreciated, Vice-Colon. Hey, Arvak. Finding it quite good so far. This is my first loop. My first hero, my first loop. We've got a shield of 6 defense as well as 2 pure damage, attack speed, and evasion, losing the regen and vampirism that I really appreciate in the other one. I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna choose to hold on this. Let's bump attack speed in combat to 2 times and expedition speed to 2 times. You can rearrange items in your inventory. Ah, so I can. Not that I can imagine why I would want to at the moment, but I can. Arvix, that's such a wonderful game. I adore I absolutely love the way that everything plays together in the game. So many cool synergies and even more secrets. I had my very first burst of that when I put down the 9th rock or mountain over here in what is now a mountain peak. I cannot wait to see more of it. A meadows. Okay, we're working towards our first 3x3 of that. I'm looking for 1 big pumpkin, thank you. Oh my god, that is way too many enemies in the area. I probably should have left, right? Or maybe not. Stop. Where did these goblins come from? I don't remember remembering you.
We give us your things.
You have no idea what's going on, right? Why don't you help me and restore order in this world first? You can do what you want when I'm done.
Goblins must rob. No other order in the world.
Fair enough. Guess I don't have any good objection to that. Oh, wait, I do have one. How about... Good Lord! My man's... a Blade Master? It's strange how these creatures appeared here on their own. Maybe it means everything's actually not so bad. The world is trying to restore itself. That, or even the apocalypse, isn't enough to get rid of some pests. One more. Well, two more. Two more for each. So, living is a stat of the spider, but I can't see what... Oh, it's probably just the type of the spider rather than the stat of the spider. Harpy is living and has a soul. Specifically has a soul. The other ones... So maybe only units that have a soul have the ability to be respawned as a ghost. Or maybe if it has a soul, it can be respawned as a ghost regardless of whether or not there's a graveyard nearby. Oh, wait, hang on. Hang on. Wait, hang on. Huh? Hang on. I think I've just learned a thing. Finally. I think the recycle mechanic happening for our items over here is the ones off the bottom right of the screen are getting deleted when we get a new item. So I want to pop this shield up here to try and keep it more common, or more current, I guess. I don't care about almost any of the rest of these. So they'll just pop off the bottom. I wonder if better ones give us more power. So if I want to pop off the powerful ones at the bottom. You know what, dude? You know what? Get all of them. Take them all. I want to see if I get better resources for that. We have another mountain, dropping it there. Another meadow, dropping it there. We are on our way from misery to happiness to be. So that just gave us one piece of scrap metal. Small pieces of the metal that survived the Lich's Curse. Sometimes this is all the remains of armor or sword that you haven't looked for in a while. 13 pieces form a bar of stable metal. Only gave us one for destroying what I'm assuming is a high-level piece of equipment in orange rarity. So, oh well. Doesn't look like we get a better reward for that. There's our 9th meadow. Fingers crossed. I'll drop another one though. No need not to. 12 rations for a whole full supply. 12 for a stick. I wouldn't be surprised if I need to get to the campfire if I actually manage to make it past all of these. I'm not certain I will. Is this ring a straight upgrade? It is 2 defense as well as more vampirism. Yes, it is. That's a great ring for us. Oh my god. Please. Come on. Oh, at least get this guy. Uh-oh. I have concerns. More defense again. So 4 more defense total. Lower vampirism, but high counter. I mean, yeah, I'll take that. Am I going to survive it all? It's a completely different question. I mean, rat wolves and I mean, there's a harpy over there. But, oh, there's gonna be infinite vampires in all of the fights. And we'll see. Let's get the meadow down immediately. Battlefield. It spawns the item once every loop. Sure. Spawn it. Blood path. Spawns a blood clot every 4 days. Not only ghosts are created on the battlefield. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'm thinking maybe I wasn't thinking before. Hang on. It's Not a chest. It's a mimic. Gave us some health, though. Regen per second of 1.2%. Oh, that does sound hefty. Ring of... no. Shield of... probably not either. Well, it's the same amount of defense, because 10 versus 8 plus 2. Oh my god. Oh my god, ghost of a ghost? What? Nobody told me the ghosts had ghosts. That's... You've died in battle. Death does not favor the fallen, but it has made a light exception of you. Retreat, you keep 30% of all of the resources found.
Sure.
I can't believe it. Hey everybody, the boy managed to return. Survivors. Does this mean I'm not alone anymore? Where'd you come from? Is there still a place without darkness? We don't know where we came from. That or we can't remember. These few people are all that's left of our group, I think. You're not sure? We're not sure. We reached the conclusion based on the abandoned luggage and leftover daily rations. Every day we see the signs of other people's presence around us. But as far as we know, they don't exist and never did. It's like we forgot them. Forgot them? Exactly. It's as if people are disappearing every day, and we instantly forget they existed, just like we forgot where we came from, and our families, and maybe even ourselves. My name is Yoda. That's all I still remember. Everyone else's memories are not much better. That's why I remember so little about myself. Everything is forgotten. But wait, you said I managed to return? That means you remember I was here. Yeah, that's why it's so important to us. We saw you leave, but you were gone before we could approach you. Listen, we can't keep wandering in this emptiness anymore. There's a campfire here, and enough space for a few sleeping bags. A real luxury in these dark times. What do you say? Of course you can stay. I'd be very grateful if we could team up. I want to put everything right. I'm only beginning to remember the world as it was before. But there's no point to it without other people. It's too lonely without them. Remember the world? I don't get what you're talking about. I'm too exhausted. But we'll be glad if you could help us. And we'll be glad to help you. Just don't ask us to follow you out of here. I don't know how you managed to return, but for us, leaving the group is too dangerous. I'll ask no such thing of you. For now, I just want to have a place to return to. A place where I can hear other people's voices. We weren't joking about helping you. Here's a few things that survive the cataclysm and don't vanish. Don't become forgotten. Take it. You might need it. Ah, excellent. Some building materials. So what I really should have done is come home immediately, as soon as possible. Get these, go back out. Right. So something I love about auto clickers, incremental games, let's call them, is that ultimately you get to a space where it's actively better to be sitting there actively playing the game and ascending, wiping all of your progress in order to achieve some sort of a meta currency, heavenly chips in the instance, in order to then have a better next run, right? So there is a point along the equations of those games where the play that is incentivized in a player is to have very, very quick runs to set yourself up for better runs in the future. I imagine that may possibly exist in this as well at points. It's going to be hard for me not to just always push for value, though. Let's see what we can build. Field kitchen, that's what we've been given the resources for. Field kitchen, a very important place for any camp. If your nose isn't lying, there's good food here. Plus 10 to the campfire's healing power, and the Blood Grove card is unlocked. Yep, we'll take that. Do you know the difference between a good cook and a bad cook? The food made by a good cook is tastier. What? You are waiting for something more elaborate? Sometimes the truth is very simple. Look, I have a cauldron, a axe, a couple of knives, and a bucket of potatoes, sea onions, and some ham. Nothing special. Everything is simple. But give me a few minutes and everyone in this camp will be running to my table, following the tasty smell of a good stew. I'm ready for it. I'll bring you back everything and anything I can.